All right, good morning again, everyone. It's Dima Khoury with Compass in Burlingame. So I'm back to bring you more information about what's happening in San Francisco market, San Francisco real estate market, and what has been going on during the past week. So if you were earlier with me, if you were tuned in a few minutes ago, I was talking, as always, I start with the interest rates. So we're still at historic low interest rates. We're still at 2.88% for a 30-year fix. We're at 2.44 for a 15-year fix and 2.9 for a 5-year arm. So this is very encouraging news for home buyers, and this means that the purchase power is increasing. So let me show you an example of what does this mean in terms of monthly mortgage payment for buyers when we talk about property or mortgage interest rates drop. So for a typical home in San Francisco County, the average sale price is 1.182 $1,182,000. So again, assuming a down payment of 10%, then the monthly mortgage payment at a 4% interest rate, it's $5,000, and at 3.5%, it's $47.78 dollars, and at 3%, it's $44,86,000. So this means that we have a saving between the 4% and 3%, almost $600 of saving per month in terms of monthly mortgage payments, which is more than $7,000 a year. And we know that the interest rates today is even lower than 3%. So we're at 2.88, which means that the saving is going to be way more than $7,000 or the current number that we're looking at. Now, as per Realtor.com, they say that with supply and demand moving in opposite directions, sellers are clearly gaining the upper hand in the market as buyer competition builds up and prices gain momentum going into the fold. So as much as it is a strong market for buyers due to the low interest rates and the purchase power, and so these are very healthy and great environment for buyers to buy. And I'm going to show you another slide on how this even affects the affordability in the market, which is very interesting. With all of this, we still are facing very low inventory, which is making it a big time seller's market. Now, another general information about California numbers or stats. So the existing home sale percentage year over year, it's 6.4 above last year over year, and year to date we're minus 10%. Now looking at the prices, and this is important for sellers, so year over year we're at almost 10% in California, higher than last year, and unsold inventory index, we're at 2.1 months of inventory for the properties, which means that we're almost 34.5% lower than last year, which means that this is becoming a more of a seller's market. And it's taking properties to sell less days. So properties are selling faster in today's market, and sales price to list price ratio, it's 100%, and it's increasing around 1% in general in California. So this explains, or this shows us the expectations of sellers when they hit the market. What's the price that they're expecting to sell at versus what is the market giving them? So there we have very realistic sellers, and the expectations are on point. Now, this is a very interesting slide which shows us the last time housing market was this affordable in general in the US, and I would definitely like to focus on California. So we're back in terms of affordability to 2017, and this is only because we have lower interest rates. So this is great news for buyers, that's why we have a lot of demand. in the market. Now, going back to being more specific on what's happening in San Francisco County in terms of numbers, what kind of activity that has been going on for the previous week. So we have the number of properties that hit the market or came on the market are 150, and 97 of them are condos. The number of properties that went in contract or sold are 141 properties, and 68 of them are condos. Again, so this is San Francisco city and only the previous week. So these are very strong numbers. And the number of properties that sold or closed escrow during last week, we have 90 properties and 55 of them are condos. And the number of properties that came off market are 49 properties and 38 of them are condos. So we can see that the activity is higher in San Francisco in terms of condo in the condo market than the single family homes, versus we see more activity going on in San Mateo County in the single family homes. Now, looking at a very important number, which again gives us an idea of, is it a seller's market or is it a buyer's market? So, which is absorption rate. So for single family homes, we have an absorption rate of 1.47, which means that we need a month and a half and 15 days or 14 days to sell the current properties that are on the market. While for the condos, we have 3.39, which means that we need 3 months and almost 11 days to sell the current properties that are on the market or condos that are on the market. And again, anything below 4, it means it's a seller's market. So for the single family home, it's a big time seller's market at 1.5. For the for the condos, it's 3.3 or 3.4. So it is still considered a seller's market. Now, again, I would like to share my screen to show you how stable is the property prices. So looking at the condo market, so for the previous weeks, for the past 6 months, and this is on a weekly basis reporting, so we can see that the average median, or sorry, the median sale price for condos is 1.23, $1,235,000. So and we can see that it has been going up and down, but in general we're very stable. Even in August, where we have higher prices are being recorded, higher than the baseline or the median price, which is good news, again, for sellers, that this is still a seller's market. So this complements what I just mentioned in terms of absorption rate. So all the numbers give us the same indicators, which is still seller's market. And this is for the single family homes. So we're at median price of 1,000,708, and we still see a very stable numbers. In August, for the previous weeks, it's slightly lower than the baseline, yet it's very stable. So this is in general what has been going on in San Francisco. There's lower activity in terms of demand and supply in comparison to last year. It's very obvious, and it's not surprising. That's because most of the companies, the big companies like Salesforce and other companies, they announced that they allowed their employees to work remotely up until August next year. So that explains why we have lower activity in the San Francisco market. But it's still, again, it's a big time sellers market, and hopefully in the next few months we'll see more demand on the properties. So this is what was happening in San Francisco County. If you would like more specific information about your neighborhood or your property, I'll be more than happy to provide you with more information. Please be safe and have a wonderful weekend.